Chris from Haunt Tech Tips here with a thrift shop haul. These are all speakers I picked up yesterday at a Goodwill and a local church thrift shop. Spent a total of, I think, $22 on all of this. So we have a Proscan active speaker system. So this is a self-amplified subwoofer with two left and right satellite speakers. A little dusty, but that'll clean right up. Has a 1/8 inch audio input on the back, output for the two other speakers. Came with RCA, although I'm going to adapt it over to a standard headphone cord. We'll test this out in just a moment here. There's that. Hook that up to a laptop as soon as that's logged in. Picked up a pair of Sony bookshelf or surround sound type speakers. Had some wire on it, have wall mounts pre-installed. 8 ohm speakers, 60 watt. So again, nice heavy Sony speakers, $6. Picked up a pair of SSI products surround sound speakers, 8 ohm speakers, 40 watts. Again, wall mounts on these, very handy. And a pair of big heavy SSI. Again, front speakers, 8 ohms, 40 watts. Nice surround sound speakers, no hangers on these. But they're a little bit heavier, so probably won't be hanging those, or if we do, we'll make a mount of some sort. Slightly annoying, the various shops, Goodwill and whatnot, tend to tape the speakers together. So sometimes that takes some paint off. Hopefully it's not been there so long it's settled and made a hot mess. That's coming off pretty clean. It's a Haunt though. They're black. We can always spray can them black if need be. So I'll get these apart here. And again, check your local thrift shops. These came from a Goodwill for the most part, and then a local church shop. Our Goodwill shops, they're not all created equal. The one near us, near Atlantic City, always has electronics. We're going to be running them with our Leppy amp. We've shown this before in a different review. So we'll start here with the Proscan speaker kit. Power switch on the back side. Sorry, I knocked the speaker over, although again, I paid $1 for this, so I'm not too worried about it. That's the beauty of cheap audio equipment like this. And as you'll see, it is a 60 hertz, 10 watt system. So not a huge amount of power, but with the subwoofer, I have it turned on. There's a volume dial on the side. Actually produces a very nice clean sound. All the speakers work. The sub has a little bit of oomph to it. Obviously I wouldn't run it at full volume, but for background music in a scene, this will be great. Or background audio, ambiance, so on and so forth. So I call that a $1 win all day long. The beauty of that too, any standard media player will run it, so an old cell phone, tablet, laptop, whatever, just a standard 1/8 inch audio, or you could use the included cable, which was this here, RCA, so you could use a DVD player, CD player, whatever your choice may be. Alright, now we have our Sony bookshelf or surround speakers wired into our Leppy amp. These are the 8 ohm speakers. I'll give it some volume. Now these are standalone speakers. There's no sub here, but obviously you can hear it's a nice, very nice quality sound. A little bit of bass to it. Plenty of volume capability. And that's just running off a little tiny Leppy amplifier there. So again, these were a win. Both speakers are performing great. Here we are with the SSI speakers, both wired in. Again, very nice speakers. Not quite as much bass as the Sony speakers. Not quite as heavy as the Sony speakers as well. but also a 8-ohm 40-watt speaker, whereas the Sony speakers were 8-ohm 60-watt speakers, so a little more power, they had a little more oomph. But these will still be great to hide in a scene or for startle effects, so on and so forth, because they do have quite a bit of volume. And again, that's volume without a whole lot of power. That is, again, just this small LEPI amp running these speakers. So another win with these SSI product surround speakers. Now we'll try the SSI front speakers. And here we are with the SSI front speakers. Both of these work as well. They're a little bit larger, so they have a little bit more bass to them. Again, they are 8-ohm 40-watt speakers. And these sound great. Again, all running right off the LEPI amplifier. So there we go. So all in all, the SSI front speakers for $8. The SSI surround speakers for $7. Sony surround speakers for $6. And my Proscan speaker kit, which was $1. Again, local thrift shop, not quite sure they knew what they had. 22 some dollars of equipment here. This could give any small haunt a pretty huge audio boost. A couple things to be on the lookout for. When you're shopping speakers like this, make sure that your cones aren't busted out. Make sure the rubber is still nice and flexible. You can see the speaker travels very well. These obviously still have the covers in place. Some of these covers pop off, not all. It feels like these covers are actually hard on there, so they're not going to come off. You can almost assume if the cloth is in good shape, the speaker inside will probably be fine. Not always. It's possible someone's blown it out. But again, at these prices, even if you get a blown speaker every once in a while, the price is still right. Of course, none of this is outdoor equipment. The Sony's, it's a particle board. The SSI's, it's the same thing. The Sony's just don't have a grain to them. They have that slightly higher end home audio look to them. But these, if you put them outdoors, put them inside trash bags or very thick plastic bags, anything like that, just to keep them protected. When you're spending this much on speakers, you can afford to put them outdoors for a brief period. If you're a year-round haunt, you may want to make the investment in proper weatherproof speakers, especially if you're a large show, so you're not spending a week every year ripping out speakers, putting speakers back, so on and so forth. But for the home haunter, for a small haunt, even for a larger haunt that just has budget constraints, check your local thrift shops. This is proof positive. Everything I bought here worked perfectly. Some thrift shops, mine has outlets around, so things like this amplified kit right here, I plugged it in and tested it. I just made sure there was no static on the line, made sure obviously it had some sound if I cranked it all the way up. Even without an input, if you take a speaker like that and turn the volume all the way up with it turned on, you're going to hear a little hum or something. Actually, that made a liar out of me. This one is very clean. As it falls down. Ah, there we go. It was turned off. That's why. Yeah, even turned all the way up. There's still basically nothing there to hear. I'll plug in the RCAs. There we go. If you have a cable you can touch, you can hear that, but it's nice and clean. The second there's no ground loop or static from me, the speaker's clean, so you know the amplifier's clean. Also keep an eye out for self-amplified subwoofers. They make a great deal. Some of them don't have secondary speakers like this, but it's the sub itself. Per se, you have a Peekaboo MP3. You could hook up your passive speakers to the outputs on it, and then the headphone type output, use a active subwoofer with it, and it'll all work together nicely. So there we go, thrift shop haul, $22. We just added a ton to our Haunts audio. And can't wait to get all this up and running in the show.